Good day, everyone. This is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Saturday, the 3rd of July, 2021. And this is the weekly technical analysis for the Euro, the cable, and the Aussie dollar. For the first week of July, let's begin with the Euro. And from the start of the week, it has been drifting lower until the pause on the Thursday and the Friday, after drifting lower past the 21 pip retracement level. Didn't quite reach the 118. It managed to bounce and find some support after the US non-farm payroll data, which came out better than expected. More jobs were added than expected. But then that's with the US dollar weakening in fear of higher interest rates, and the other majors managed to find some support, and there could be some continuation back up to the 119 level for this coming week. Support is still at the 118 level. Last week, the weekly pivot was right at the 38 pip retracement level, lying nicely here. And the monthly pivot has dropped lower. The new monthly pivot is right at the 50 pip retracement level of this swing move up. Right, so this coming week will be key one for Euro, with no major news coming up, but still trying to hang on. But it could be consolidating first for this coming week before any further moves. This will be a key support zone for the Euro here. All right, and let's just switch to the 4-hour time frame just to see the that was the bounce from the non-farm payroll report, and close up higher as well by the end of the day. So there could be a follow through higher, but yeah, you can see 119 will be a critical resistance, with the 4-hour 55 EMA drifting lower as well. But if it does pull back up, then the 38 pip will be a significant resistance zone. So you could move this lower down to here. That will be a key resistance there. That's at the 119.19 or about 119.20 area. Let's also compare that and correlate with the US dollar index, the DXY. And you can see that it was climbing up pretty strong from the start of the week and until Friday, where that's where the non-farm payroll caused the pullback here towards the end of the day, and it almost reached this swing high. So it's still in a fairly bullish mode. needs to find support at the daily 200 level and right at the 38 fib retracement. And for now, the resistance is at the 21 fib area, and looks like could be a consolidation for this coming week. So as long as the dollar doesn't drop below the 38 fib area at 91.81, and there's still a possibility of further moves higher. All right, let's move back to the euro and also just take a quick look at the weekly time frame, where it was sitting on the weekly 55 EMA. It tried to dip lower below that, but then climb back up on the Friday. So just holding above that support area. So after some consolidation, it still looks bearish overall. We'll see when it will test the support level again. And if it does break below the 118, then the next key support will be at the 38 fib retracement of the bigger swing move, and that's what we highlighted the previous week at the 117.35 area. All right. So yeah, only minor news this coming week with some EU-related economic forecast for the EU, for the Eurozone. Okay, let's move on to the cable. And similar situation as well, with a strong bounce on the Friday, back up above 138, sorry. So this will be a key support zone now. Didn't quite make it further down below 138 to bounce off from 137.30 area. Didn't quite make it to 137. But it was drifting lower after the previous week, where it had already retraced back up to test 140. It was already falling below 138. That was the critical support. But then Friday's non-farm payroll from the US managed to give it some lifeline for now. But it's still fairly bearish, and for this coming week, could climb back up to where last week's weekly pivot was, and consolidate the support from the 137 up to the 138.80 area. Last week's weekly pivot 138.90, close to 90. Okay, the new monthly pivot is up higher, lower from previous month, drifting lower down to 139.56. And this week there's only some minor news with UK GDP on Friday. And let's switch to the 4-hour time frame just to see there was a strong bounce on the Friday, and yeah, attempting to recover back to the 55 EMA at 138.66, and probably test this swing high. Just go right back up to this swing high. And let's also take a look at the weekly time frame, where there's still some room to drift lower, but this is the key support at the 137. But next week it's likely to just drift up higher for a bit, but unlikely it will drift up to the monthly pivot again. So it's still looking bearish overall. Key support at 137, and also the 50-pip retracement just below that, and as well as the 200 EMA coming up to it. And for now, intermediate resistance could be around last week's weekly pivot, right? Just under 139. So we could also just add 139 here. Okay, and let's just add this zone as a key resistance, intermediate resistance here. Okay. All right, let's move on to the Aussie dollar. And similar to the other major pairs, after hitting 0.76 on the retrace, it has fallen past the previous low as well, and was heading lower below 0.75, but then managed to bounce back up on the Friday and back up to the previous support of this swing low here. So we'll see if that turns into resistance. And above that is the daily 200 EMA as well. So that's going to provide additional resistance there. Monthly pivot for this new month is already lower at 0.7584. And see on the weekly time frame, that's where it hit, bounce off the weekly 55 EMA. So managed to climb back up above 0.75. So further consolidation for a couple of weeks maybe, but looks still bearish. Was not able to recover back up above 0.76, so it's yeah, unlikely to break out higher for now. Right, so above the daily 200 EMA, there's the monthly pivot, which will provide additional resistance if this intermediate level here at the 100 pip does not hold. If it's going to break through higher for a bit, it's likely going to limit its bounce. So, but below this, we have the 138 extension right near the 0.74. So that's going to be our support area. Okay, so critical news this Tuesday is the RBA having their policy meeting and their rate decision. Before that, there's on Monday, the retail sales figures. But Tuesday, if there's any change in any policy as well, it's could be some movement there. But I think for Tuesday, it's only just the rate statement, and late following week will be the policy statement, monetary policy statement. So may not get the full outcome of the policy meeting. But for now, that's the possible range to work with. The previous week's weekly pivot could provide intermediate resistance, and below that, the 0.74 will be the main support zone, and so that could be key levels to watch out for. All right. So do check out my other videos on spot gold and dollar yen. Have a safe week and a good trading week, and cheers for now.